Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Tomo, and welcome to something a little bit different. I'm packing orders today for Tommo's Racing Goods, and so I thought I would stream whilst I do it, which is kind of what I did last time out. Last time I had to like fold and actually fully pack all the orders from scratch. Not quite so much this time, but I've got a bunch of labels printed out. I've got a bunch of t-shirts ready to go in there. This is a medium that is going to somebody. And yeah, we're going to be here for a while, probably many hours. This is just going to be a chill stream, no like super scripted, like scheduled show like my normal chinwags are, where I've got kind of a certain thing I want to get through and I'm quite succinct with it. We're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill here and have a chat. And yeah, it might be a while. So if you're watching this after the fact, this one might not be for you. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're just gonna. I've got my Ribena. Goat drink. If you don't have Ribena, what are you playing at? I've only recently gotten back into it, thanks to Hannah. And yeah, we're just gonna pack orders. I've got my headphones on. I'm gonna stick some music on. You won't be able to hear it because of otherwise the stream will get. I don't know. I would be perfectly happy to like not monetize this stream and just have like any music, but I'm pretty sure YouTube blocks the stream if you start, even if you don't have it monetized, which is kind of annoying. But here we are. Hello everyone. Hello Martin, Boy, Makita, Darius, Mitch, Seamus, Jerome, Bryony. Welcome everyone. Love Ribena. Yes, Ella knows. Ella knows Ribena is what's up. But yeah, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. Thoughts on... Let's start. Let's start with first question I've seen here from Villager. Thoughts on Piastri this season? As I obviously I'm not going to show you all the labels because I don't want to dox anyone. The labels are here. I'll just actually go through kind of the setup. So I've tried to set up a bit of a production line kind of thing. Although I need the other... Where's... Hang on, 2 seconds. I left the... There we go. Okay, I already dropped some, basically anyone who ordered just a cap on, when we first went live, your order should already be on its way. I dropped like 16 orders at the postie this morning, which were anyone who's ordered, anyone in the no, not in the UK, anyone who's just ordered a t-shirt and ordered on the first day. In the UK, your order's on its way. I'm now doing the same. People just ordered a t-shirt, but outside of the UK, they're the ones I'm doing next. This is going to be very all over the place throughout this stream, but that's fine. You know, not everything has to be super prescriptive. And right, what am I doing? Right, that bag can go down there. Yeah, I feel like I've planned everything out. There's like loads of boxes. In fact, let me take a picture of what we're looking at right here, and then I'll show you just how many boxes there are. You're going to get a little bit of behind the scenes with my little heater in the corner. That's what I'm looking at from that point of view. So we've got like that's 8 boxes there, 8 boxes there. Oh, as well, also the poly bag, the custom poly bags we have. See, it says Tommo's Racing Goods right on the custom poly bag. Very happy with these. But they made me so many. I didn't ask for this many, but they've made me like 3,000 poly bags. So I've got 3 boxes full of poly bags. So I guess I have to do more merch in the future, right? I've got loads of I know. They made me 3,000. I didn't expect that many. I was like, why are these boxes so heavy? And there's 3,000 poly bags in there, all with Tommo's Racing Goods on them. So, yes. Anyway, yes. Sorry. Back to the Oscar Piastri question. While I pack orders, this order is for. No, I'm not going to say people's names because they might not feel comfortable with that. Oh, actually, no, I can't. I can't do that. I need to go through each label and check who's or what size each individual has ordered. That's what I need to do now. So right, I can close Photoshop. I don't need that open anymore. What do I think of Oscar Piastri's season this year? I think Oscar has demonstrated a lot of raw potential, for sure. Obviously, you don't win multiple Grand Prix in your second season in F1, and he's very much up there, hanging with. I think this is arguably the greatest generation we've ever seen. Right? You got Hamilton, you got Verstappen, you've got Leclerc. You know, straight away those guys. You've got Alonso still doing it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the car, but if he did have the car, he'd still be up there. Like, in terms of a generation, I think this is arguably the greatest generation of all time. And you can always make that argument, isn't it? Like, you know, it's like the whole Messi Maradona thing. Like, who is the greatest of all time? Well, Messi, if you took Maradona, who used to, you know, not exactly take great care of his body, and plug him into today's game, Messi would run rings around him. But for his time, he was, and you can only rate someone based on their generation, can't you? You know what I mean? It's not fair to compare Maradona to Messi, really, because they're of different times. The people who are real trailblazers are like your Michael Schumachers, the people who like change what is the norm. Because before Michael Schumacher, drivers didn't really take their health and their body seriously, and he's the one who really stepped up and actually he enforced that change, you know. But I digress. I think the fact that Oscar's holding his own amongst probably the greatest generation of all time is very impressive. Where's where my pen is? Why is my pen not here? This is very chaotic already. Where's my pen? Yeah. The lid for my pen's here, but the actual pen's not here. You know what? These headphones. Well, because I want to talk. The headphones are not working for me, so I'm gonna just switch that off. Yes, I think Oscar, to hold his own like he has done amongst probably the greatest generation of all time, in my opinion, is incredibly impressive, and therefore. Where is this pen, man? Where is it? Oh, it's here. I'm so stupid. It's literally right beneath me all this time. So yeah, I know you've got to look at Oscar and think, you know, there must still be more room for him to improve and grow and develop. In which case, you know, he said it himself. He's happy with the progress he's made since last year. So yeah, I see no reason why he's not going to be in the fight. I think, look, what Lando needs to do is really learn, because Lando's got more raw ability right now than Oscar, and as he should, being in his 6th year, whatever it is. Hello, genius. 9 months, crazy. But again, it's that assumed rate of development that should come from Oscar, that he hasn't reached his ceiling yet, whereas it feels like Lando should be closer to his ceiling. So that all kind of plays into it. I guess it's one of two ways, isn't it? You either look at Lando's, if you're comparing Oscar to Lando, who's the more kind of competitive, who you should bet your money on, right, in a championship fight, a driver's title fight. It's like, obviously, Lando has made his mistakes and shown that he's not been. He'd say that himself, right? He's been a bit naive, I think, in his fight with Max. But the question is, do you think he'll learn from that or not? You know, if you don't think he'll learn from that, and he'll just make the same mistakes again, then you probably back Oscar. If you do think he'll learn from that, because in terms of like their 1 lap pace, Oscar and Lando is very similar. But Lando gets way more consistently to that ceiling. Like, Oscar can out-qualify Lando, but he can't do it consistently enough. That's why it's like 21-3 or whatever it is in head-to-head. And it's whether you think Lando's like great managing his tyres and, you know, race management. I think Lando's pretty good wheel-to-wheel as well. It's not his biggest strength, but I think that Charles for me is 100% the best wheel-to-wheel racer in F1, I think. But yeah, it just depends whether you think Lando will learn from those things or not and improve. The experience gap is still massive. Yeah, look, and I think Lando should, hopefully, from his point of view, be stronger the for the battles that he's had this year with Max. It's just, does he learn, and does he? Yeah, I think that's another thing as well, right? If kind of digressing and talking more about Lando here, but I think it's all relative, right? It's like if what am I trying to say? Yeah, so if Lando can get a good start, because the problem this year, I think, as well, is that when Max was leading the championship from like day dot, and Lando was always playing catch up, that always meant, like, if you're leading, and we saw this in 2021, right? If you're leading, you can afford to take more risks, because if you both end up, you know, coming off worse, and this is not a trying to take people out thing, this is a play into your outs and risk reward, right? If you're leading and, you know, there's a risky defense or a risky attack or whatever, if you both end up with no points, you as the leader gain more of an advantage from that. So I think where Max, if Lando can come out the gates, or Oscar, if anyone other than Max basically can come out the gate swinging and make Max have to catch them up, that is the best opportunity for someone else other than Max to win. But if Max can start the season strong, I don't see... Yeah, opportunity cost, exactly that, Timothy Hendricks. Opportunity cost. If Max can come out this out the block swinging, then I think it's his title. I think he'll do another one. So it kind of it's quite heavily dependent on that, if you ask me. Because it's just, yeah, it's a complex, nuanced thing, you know, and especially over 24 races as well. There's a lot that can go right, there's a lot can go wrong. But yeah, I think coming out the block strong is really important for Max to get ahead, because then I think if he gets ahead, he'll probably stay ahead. Cool. That was I thought, and then yeah, I think again with Oscar, I think it's the consistency. He's like Qatar. He did well in Qatar, but he was so close to being over the line so many times. He is still a bit rough, but given this is only 2 seasons in, it's crazy impressive, you know. And I think, but also, yeah, look, again, where Oscar's stepped up and made an impression, and, you know, a lot of people, understandably, think Oscar is the future of that team, more so than Lando. I'm sure as well, again, this is assuming Lando doesn't see all that stuff and then respond to it. And again, hopefully, like from a competitive point of view, hopefully he does respond to it, because that'd be sick. I'd love that. But yeah, a lot of it is just kind of understanding what would be the best approach for him for next year. So I'm just doing I'm going through all of these labels and just putting the size on the back of each one, so that then I can match the label up to the t-shirt. All the t-shirts here. I'll hang this up in the background as well. Up you go. There you go. Nice. Back of me tee. Bosh, lovely. Oh yeah, apparently there's apparently the talks happening today, aren't there, with Perez and Red Bull. Well, I don't know if they're talking with Perez, but the internal Red Bull meetings, I believe, are happening today. And we should be getting information later this week as to whether or not Checo. I mean, it's hard to imagine that. Like, surely when they gave him that extension, they would have had some kind of easy get out if they needed it. Surely. Awkwardly, and Oscar is overrated. I used to think he will be fast, but he's been very disappointing this season. I don't think speed has been his problem though. I do think he has had, like, he started strong and then he had a bit of a dip, and it's like I don't think he's not fast. I think it's just that consistency of application, because he has done it a number of times, but also he's had a number of weekends where it's just not quite worked out for him. So, I mean, there was a lot of expectation going into this year, and so I don't necessarily think it's a crazy thing to say it's been a bit disappointing. It just depends on what your expectations were, you know. Right, this one's going to Chicago. Love it. Love Chicago. Great place. Went there 2017, did the marathon. That's what actually destroyed my back. Because about a month after I did my marathon, just woke up one day and I had a slip disc. And my back's never been the same since. Thank you, Jamie, by the way, for the super chat. Good day, Tommo. Is this like your last packing stream? Yes, it is, Jamie. Last time out, I did this. Actually, I did it on Twitch last time, but I thought, you know what? No, we'll do it on YouTube because that's where no one really is on. I don't do Twitch enough to justify it. So yeah. So we're here on YouTube, just chatting, and I'll probably be here for a while. So because there's a lot of, I'm very grateful because there's a lot of orders that have come in. So I need to. But because I'm hard-headed and like doing all this stuff myself, and I don't like asking for help. But it works actually and there's a link in the description, and there's a link in the live chat to the poll, for the end of season driver ratings. So I want to get a lot. There's like 6,000 of you have already done it, which is crazy high. So it makes sense to kind of do this. I can promote the merch a bit, I can promote that poll, and it gives another day for everyone to get their responses in, and then I can film, and I can do my driver ratings, probably do that tonight myself, just write them down, kind of decide who I'm going to put where, film the video tomorrow, and then get it out on Wednesday. That's the plan. Right, I'm just going to pick another random question, so thank you for all sending them in. Why not multi-stream? Just can't be asked. There's no real. I don't personally for what I do, and where like most of my streams are quite kind of succinct. They're like shows. They're not just me streaming for 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't see much value of being on Twitch. I don't see a future of Twitch, to be honest. I don't think it'll be around much longer, in my opinion. I think it's too much of a loss leader for Amazon. I think once they realise just how much money they're losing on it, they will, because it's just not built for long-term monetization, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. Cool. That one's going to Dallas. Nice. All my exes live in Texas. Love to go to Texas. That is the Grand Prix for next year that I really want to go to. Definitely. Am I going to the Hammers game tonight, Zappa? No, I'm not. I haven't been to West Ham in ages. Like honestly, like I had a season ticket first 2 years at the new gaff. To be honest, a lot of it I think after my dad died. It was a combination of when my dad died, but also moving stadium. It's never felt the same. It's never quite felt the same, to be honest. And I guess as well, it's a combination of those two factors and the F1 taking up so much of my weekends. And it's my job, right? So it's and I want to follow it as closely as possible because I've said this before, right? Like this job's an absolute privilege to be able to call this my job, right? And honestly, like the F1 part of it, the actual watching the races and consuming the F1 content, that to me is not work. I don't consider that part work at all. The part that's work is the editing, is the thumbnailing, the SEO, the script writing. That's the work. Whether the subject matter is F1 or graphic design or football or whatever is immaterial. That's the way I see it anyway. Thank you, Road Rage, for the super chat. Do you see these ground effect cars impacting Ricciardo and Checo's driving styles? Always felt this is one reason for both drivers' downfalls. It's hard to know with Checo, isn't it? Because obviously he was great in 2020. Really good, one of the drivers of the season. So, and then 2021, he wasn't great. Like, yes, he did his, Turkey and Abu Dhabi did his part to help Max. But when you look at that season, like he got outscored by Valtteri, and Valtteri had a bad season. Like he was not close to Max in 2021 either. So I don't know how much of Checo's struggles are just the Red Bull or the inherent philosophy. I reckon it's more to do with the Red Bull than the philosophy. Honestly, I think if you put Checo in a Haas or back in the Aston Martin, I think he does a very decent job. To be honest, even in these current generations of cars, that's what I think. That's my opinion anyway. But it doesn't look like. I mean, he's digging his heels in now, isn't he? That's what it sounds like. He's going to get his bag, going to get his bread. And, I mean, look, it's business, isn't it? At the end of the day, from Red Bull and Sergio's point of view, it's just business. It's all just business at the end of the day, not the Aston Martin. I reckon he'd do with, because, you know, he'd been at that team for a long time. Obviously, I know it's changed a lot, and if they'd have never dropped him for Vettel, maybe it'd have been maybe it'd be a different story, you know? It's hard to say. No one actually knows. Thank you, Bernie, as well, for the super chat. Very kind of you. Do you think other drivers should start racing Max like he races? Lando often says if he didn't move, they would crash. So should he not move? I think, you know, again, this is where it comes back to the whole... If Max has more to lose, which he hasn't, because this year he's been leading, and he had such a lead at the start, he could afford to drive in a more risky way. But if Max is doing the chasing, so if Lando or Charles or George or whoever open up an advantage at the start, you know, Max would have to drive in a more self-preservation way at times in order to, like the move he pulled in Mexico, like you don't pull that move if you're trying to catch up, because that's a guaranteed penalty and you're playing to your outs, right? And he said it himself, you know, he literally was like, sometimes you have to do what's necessary, right? And that's something he felt was necessary in that moment. Again, I think it just comes down to, like, Charles can race Max in a way that I think it's not even that Charles will match Max. I think it's like they really understand each other. They understand each other, how each other goes racing, and they just both have this inherent, you know, that's come from years and years of direct competition between the two of them, that they can race each other hard, and again, fair is a relative thing, because you know you look back at, like, Silverstone 2019 is one of my favourite races of all time, because Charles and Max going at it, mate. That's just like, that is why I love motorsport. Like races like that, phenomenal, right? Love it. And yeah, they were both kind of going off track, but again, they were both given as good as they got. And yeah, it's when they matched each other with that energy, it was great. So, you know, because it's, look, you got rules and regulations, and it's one thing trying to, and we're seeing this in football, right? You're trying to regulate with VAR and have all this really hard line rules, but also it's human, it's sport, and if both teams are like, it might be against rules, but when you get those football games every now and then, when both teams are just kicking lumps out of each other, and it's just, like, those are some of the most entertaining football games you'll ever watch. Even though everyone's breaking the rules, it's dirty, it's not something youngsters should be watching and looking up to, but it's bloody entertaining. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, almost Silverstone 2019 was almost, in a way, kind of like that. And it was so good. And I just want that back again. I do feel like, you know, Charles is the guy. Charles is the guy who takes it to Max, I think, and can match him on his level, above all else. But we'll see. We'll see, hopefully. Thank you, Aleph, by the way, for joining Friends of Tommo. Appreciate that. Lando chasing Max at Imola was good to watch. Yeah, he was chasing. You know, if he'd have caught up, who knows, right? Again, that early part of the season, maybe, you know, as the season goes on, and obviously there's fewer and fewer races to catch Max. You know, I think that's why he pulls a move like he does in Mexico. I think at Imola, I think Max would have given Lando space, and I think he would have raced him more equitably than at the end of the season. But again, you do what you got to do, right? You play to your outs, and Max knew he was slower than Lando that day in Mexico, so he was like, well, you know, I'm just going to play this, and if it works for me, if it works, it doesn't, I'll get a penalty and we'll move on. And you know what I mean? This is what it is. Jamie, far too kind, mate, with the super chats. Do appreciate it. How many supers do I need for you to come to Melbourne? I'll be back in Melbourne at some point in the next few years. I love it too much over there, and I've got my family over there as well. So always a pleasure. Would I ever get to the Grand Prix? Who knows? Maybe. I'd love to. I would love to. But thank you, Jamie. Very kind. Very kind of you. Right, that one's a large. That goes on there. Got about 4 more labels here. I'm kind of doing them in batches just to make them, just to kind of spread it all out a bit, because there's a. Yeah. This room's a lot smaller than it used to be because of all the boxes. Thank you, Sam, as well, for the super chat. How much would the top 4 spend if no cap in 25? How long's a piece of string, Sam? I mean, look, it would just be especially with the amount of money in F1 at the moment as well. If the teams didn't have a budget cap, geez, they would just be. I mean, we had 300-400 million a year being thrown at the sport back in the day. With all the added interest, it'd be in the billions, wouldn't it? I mean, it'd be over $1 billion. I think the top teams would be spending per year. I think if they had completely unrestricted, which is like I'm grateful for the budget cap. I think the budget cap is the correct play. You know the way it's enforced and blah blah blah. It's always going to be a difficult thing to enforce, isn't it? But I think without it, you just get the big teams just spending like crazy, and it does give a shot. Like Haas can be, can qualify top 3. That wouldn't be happening if you had unlimited, like no budget cap in place. That just wouldn't exist. Right, next one. Jerome. Get rid of the budget gap. Bring back tobacco advertising. No, it'd be vape advertising these days, wouldn't it? It would be vape advertising. Honestly, I've never understood the appeal. I mean, I've never smoked in my life. I've never even tried it, and vapes just. I guess because I've never. But then as well, I don't have a very. I've never smoked, never vaped, never. Don't really drink coffee. Like, I remember, what was it? This was like maybe like a month or so ago. There was a place in town, and Hannah wanted to get like she's really into like chai lattes. I was like, okay, cool. And then I went in, and she was like, "Oh, do you want something?" I was like, "Oh, I'll have like an iced coffee," because I don't mind iced coffee, like occasionally. Like the taste is like alright. And I can't remember what it was, but I drank this thing, and I felt horrific. I almost felt similar in a way to when I had my kidney stone, where I just felt like, I was like, oh my God, is this it? And I think it was just because I had this like big, I don't know what was in it, but I reckon it was a lot of caffeine. It must have been, because I just felt absolutely awful out of nowhere. And yeah, I mean, I live to fight another day, but yeah, I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea, 2x. Right, okay. And labels are done. Cool. Right. Just get this keyboard out of the way, because I don't need this. Do you agree that Haas, for the journey they had and the progress they had during the whole year, that they deserved P6 rather than Alpine? I think Haas were the better team over the course of the year. Sure. Yeah, I would say that. I think obviously credit to Alpine for turning things around like they did. Haas were the better team over the course of the season, but that's the point system as it is, That's how the point system kind of sits. And Alpine, you say Alpine locked out Pirelli tyre, and like perhaps you could certainly say that in a way about Brazil, but then from Vegas onwards they hit Q3 every single race. So it's not true that Alpine were just lucky at the end of the season. Not Vegas onwards, from Austin onwards they hit Q3 every race. So clearly they now have the 5th/6th quickest car as of today. It's them or Haas for the 5th/6th quickest car. It's not even Aston anymore. And that's credit to the team for doing that. And yeah, Brazil obviously massively helped, but they converted. They there was an opportunity. They stayed ahead of George as well. Like, I think But I think more credit deserves to go to Haas for sure, because you look at their resource and you look at their infrastructure, and it's not even compared to Alpine. It's not even close, you know. So no, I'm definitely all about giving Haas their plaudits. Right, t-shirt. We have t-shirt here, double XL. We've got extra small to double XL in these tees, by the way. Now, what I'm doing basically in each one, I'm just going to move the mic. I might be a bit quieter. Just going to get the mic out of the way so I can kind of do these properly. I've got my my Minton Ball stickers, and I've kind of just written. I've just written like cheers on the back of each one. So, I'm quite happy with that. I like doing stickers. I'm just slowly building out my laptop with stickers from various things I've done. So everyone gets a sticker. So just chuck that in. Bosh. I love the little seal on the top of this bag as well. Look. Love it. And then, yeah, and then I'll just put it in the... Oh, I need to move this Ribena away. I don't want to spill Ribena on anything. Do and replace after one race. Good one. Conspiracy theory. Okamatsu held back the car's performance so that Gunter could be fired. Wow. That's a 200 IQ play from AO if that's the truth. No, he's done a great job. And look, again, it's like, you look at Aston Martin and you look at Haas. They couldn't be more polar opposite in terms of, you know, infrastructure and theoretical potential. But it's just human beings at the end of the day. It's just human beings who make decisions, and sometimes human beings make the right ones, sometimes they make the wrong ones. And there's a lot to be said as well for, you know, organisations can be too bloated, you know, and have Aston Martin just gone for the PSG strategy and hired kind of too many people too quickly. That could be the case. Yeah, I didn't know Brundle was a West Ham fan. So when he said it, I was gassed. I was chuffed when Martin said he was a... I was like, Croft has obviously converted him. All these years in the commentary. Right. That's an order packed. Paul Aaron or Isaac Hadjar. If I was choosing between the two, I'd pick Paul Aaron. He just seems a lot more... Like, Hadjar seems very chaotic. And I'm not sure if... Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the driver that I would elect for. Hadjar's clearly very talented. Yeah, volatile, exactly. But I would pick Paul Aaron if I had to pick between the two. Right, so we've got a large here. Large T. In we go. Sticker. Close. Move this down. Fold that over. In the bag. Lovely jubbly. I can't believe there's still 700 of you here. I'm going to try and be interesting, but can't guarantee anything. Yeah, look, I think honestly, I do think, you know, if Red Bull, you know, there is talent. Isaac Hadjar clearly has talent, and so it's just like, can they, you know, work with that ability, that raw ability, and cultivate him, turn him into a more complete driver who has a measure on his emotions more in the car. You know, that's a fair question. That's a very fair question. Do I want to come to Moldova? You know what? I've never considered it, Maxim, but why not? What's in Moldova? Never considered Moldova, but I'd be open to it. Right, that's another one done. Another one. Two down. Right, medium next. Medium. I already counted out the bags that I needed. So, sticker, in you go. Bosh. Down, pop that over. Lovely jubbly. Who scored more points next year, Behrman or Kimi? I mean, you Kimi, come on. Kimi's in a Mercedes, so Kimi. But also Kimi's obviously a little bit generational, given his junior, performances, right? And I think to dominate like he has done in Freca and, all these other junior formulas, like prior to even F3, because he didn't do F3, is crazy impressive. Crazy impressive, and is just another driver to add to this, list of, still young drivers who are going to be, carrying this sport, taking me into my 40s. In Romania, F1 has a big fan block. Nice. Who's the Maxim? Who are the drivers that are followed most in Romania? Are there a particular driver that the fan base gravitates towards, or is it quite kind of spread out? It'd be cool if Aaron gets a seat, because obviously Aaron's from Estonia, so I don't know how much I'm not educated enough to say, but I feel like Estonia is probably more culturally connected to like Finland. I guess. But I don't know, if Paul Aaron gets a seat, would that excite the Lithuanians and the Latvians and, the other kind of Baltic states? I don't know. Is Estonia Baltic? I think it is, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. It's 2 a.m. in New Zealand. It's 2 a.m. everywhere at some point, It's always 2 a.m. somewhere. Okay. Right, I don't need this right now, do I? No. I can close that. Cool. As a Finn, I would love Aaron to get a seat, especially with no Finn on the grid for the first time in a long time. If Paul Aaron can pick up that slack, there could definitely be an opportunity for him in 26. Depends on how much he impresses at Alpine, and just if an opportunity opens, he'll be there knocking on the door. Bit more pressure for Jack Doohan and. This bag's not got a seal thing on it. Oh, it still opens fine. Yes, I'm a West Ham fan, Jamode. Ever suffering West Ham fan. Right, this is a large. Put this in here. Hello, Viz. How you doing, buddy? Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Well, yeah, look, 25 should be even better, man. So, I think we're on for a very good 2025 season in Formula 1. There's no reason why it shouldn't be, right? You look at how the performance has, and even Mercedes have started to butt their ideas up as of late. So we should be on to a good thing come next season. Because, even this season was a banger. That's the thing, obviously some people are just going to be like, oh, Max just won again, it's boring. Come on. This was not a boring season. Yes, Max won again, but so before I say it again, if Max wins every single title for the next 3-4 years, I don't mind, as long as it's competitive. I really don't mind, as long as it's interesting, as long as it goes down to the wire. Obviously I'd like Alex to win one, but can't help but thinking that's a bit optimistic of me. But we'll see. You never know. Oh. Right. Someone dropped a super chat that I missed. Thank you, Clinton, for the super chat. Tomo, who wins more world championships, Verstappen or his kids? With Kelly Piquet and the Verstappen family, the breeding drivers that are horses. Yeah, I mean, there's some strong racing genetics there, right? I think, look, at the end of the day, Max may be his father's son, but also he is his own man, and he is unbelievably talented of his own merit. Certainly more talented than Jos was. So, I mean, maybe he won't even want his kids to do motorsport. It can go one or two ways, can't it? It feels like ex-racing drivers, or even just like professional athletes, they either really want their kid to get into it and, you know, take advantage of the doors that they would be able to open, or they're just like, no, don't do it. I wasted my life doing it. You're not going to do the same. And I almost feel like Max would go that way, to be honest. Oh no, you've got Kimi Raikkonen's kid is doing it, isn't he? He's racing karts, and I think doing quite well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Raikkonen name back in F1 in like another, I don't know, 10 years or so. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Ugh. In you go. There we go. Bosh. Do 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 do. If you could take away one track next year and replace it with one not on the calendar, I mean, I think I said about doing this for a video actually, kind of going through what tracks I would, obviously because we're not getting Zandvoort from 27 onwards. Hard to say. I think Hockenheim. I'd love Hockenheim to return, and we definitely need a German Grand Prix, especially with Audi coming in as well. I think that's going to add to the desire for Hockenheim to return. I really like Kyalami. Now I know a bit more about that track. I think that could be cool, as well as obviously being first African Grand Prix. On the calendar for a while. Istanbul would be great. Istanbul's a great track. Sepang would be cool. And they're probably ones that come to mind, I would say, for tracks to get on the calendar. Medium. Yeah, only interested in Hockenheim if it's old Hockenheim. Avis. Yeah, Avis would be wild. Josh, you're in Banff. That's where me and Hannah got married. There you go, see? Honorary Canadians. Love Banff. What a beautiful part of the world. Very jealous. Thank you, Will, for the super chat. Appreciate that. If the season was shorter, this could have been one of the best. In terms of Max cruising through the first 5-6 races, might have only been the first 3. Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, every race gets the same number of points, right? And Max and Red Bull maximised. They didn't even maximise the start of the season because Max broke down in Australia. Imagine if Max, because Max would have walked that race in Australia. Let's be real. If he hadn't broken down, but he did break down, and so it's like, well, actually, really, like the right driver won this year. Let's not get it twisted. Like Max, the right driver definitely won, and actually, yeah, it was his bad luck that meant it went for as long as it did, really. But there'd always be conspiracy theories as to why that, and maybe they're true. You just don't know. That's why it's a conspiracy theory. As to why Max's brakes went haywire in Australia. Game's the game sometimes, you know. Game's the game, Will. Game is the game. Sometimes these bags are a little bit smaller than I should have gotten. Okay, right. Tuck that in there. Fold. Bosh. go. This is a medium. Going to Australia. Down to Queensland, this one. Up the Queensland. Love that. What do you think the 12th team in F1 could be? Well, I would say Hyundai, but they probably are going to want to focus on their WEC entry for a bit. I think Toyota could end up taking naming rights at Haas and eventually buying Haas. Big up Brisbane. I think in terms of a new entry, 12th new entry, and obviously like maybe High Tech kind of takes the name and branding of Alpine, or however that could work. Yeah, well, they will leave space for a big OEM in case anyone wants in. Yeah, I think you're right, Craig. I think you're right. I think they're not going to be in a rush to fill that 12th spot. The thing is, the automotive industry is really struggling at the minute, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I think I was watching a what was the video I was watching? Where was it? It was a YouTube video. It was talking about why there's been a downturn in the obviously like VW Group struggling, but they're not the only ones. Like a lot of the big European. Yeah, a lot of the big European manufacturers are struggling because of the rise of the of cars built and made in China, like your BYDs. Obviously, they're the biggest example, because China, obviously being such a massive market, used to import all of its cars that were any good, whereas now they actually make their own cars that are really good. They're not just obviously like not even that long ago, right? It used to just be a meme that you would just have these like carbon copy, like terrible Chinese rip-offs of like, you know, Land Rovers or BMW X5s or whatever. That would that pop up, and there was no real like. But now, obviously, like you've got UK is a big, because the UK doesn't have any tariffs on Chinese Chinese car imports, whereas I think in America you've got like a 100% tariff. I think at the moment. I think that's what he said on Chinese car imports. MG is China. Like they, I think it's the same parent company that owns BYD. I could be wrong, but they bought the name in rights of MG and then brand their cars as MGs in the UK. And because the UK doesn't have any import tariffs, as far as I'm aware, it might be Geely. I'm not sure what it is. The UK is a really big market for them, as an export market, you know. But also, it's more to do with the Chinese market. The domestic market isn't buying European cars as much anymore. They're buying, you know, BYDs, their own cars, which wasn't really a market before, you know. Right, medium. So that makes me think, you know, is the likelihood of a big OEM jumping in soon, just where there's so much? Because honestly, like, I think if VW Group were having to make the decision about F1 now, I don't think they'd be jumping in with Audi. I think it's too far gone now. They've already made that commitment for them to back out of it. And obviously they've sold a big part of that to the Qataris as well, haven't they? They've already sold like a significant stake in that new Audi F1 team to the Qataris, because it's just like it's not a great look, right? When the European automotive sector is struggling so much, and like you having to let people go from their jobs, and then you're spending all your money on an F1 team. It doesn't, like, the optics aren't amazing with that, are they? So I kind of do understand why they've sold that stake. But yeah, I think it's just uncertain times at the moment. I mean, certainly not just in the automotive sector, right? Just generally speaking, but yeah, not good. They should make Monaco an exhibition race so they can race in Africa. Now, Monaco should be on the calendar every year. Like, there's 24 races. We can have a Grand Prix where it's a bit of a procession on Sunday, but also just treat Monaco individually. Give it its own one-shot qualifying. Okay, I'll keep banging that drum. Maybe split. Right. So Monaco, hear me out. Right, Q1. Instead of normal Q1, you have 2 Q1s with 10 cars each, and then the quickest times set, and they're just randomly picked, or maybe like one from each team is picked, because I know track evolution is a thing, but there's no fair system, right? So do that. Have 2 Q1s, then. Oh, actually no. Okay, maybe not. Okay, to negate the track evolution thing, have 2 Q1s, and then the top 5 from each queue of the Q1s go through to a 10 car 1 lap shootout in so the quickest, maybe it's like reverse. I don't know how you'd set the grid, right? Because I know track evolution is a thing that everyone talks about. And like, yeah, okay, fine. Track evolution would make it a bit unfair, but then you'd have no traffic. You'd never have to worry about traffic for this 1 lap shootout, and it'd just be more interesting. It'd be different. Maybe they should just do that for the sprints as well. Just make the sprint quality feel different and unique. Because right now it just doesn't feel different enough. Like, they've improved the format, I think, but it still just doesn't feel different enough. Yeah, kind of like F2, Prithvi. Kind of like F2. Kind of like F2. I won't be against that at all. Right, large. No traffic, no tow from teammate. Yeah, look, I think, it would create some unfairness, but also it would get rid of some unfairness. So, no system's perfect, but it's just about finding the best compromise overall. And I think, Monaco is a track that, if Monaco applied to be in F1 now and there wasn't the history, there's no way they'd accept it, because it's just way too, it's there because of its historical connection. So then, well, let's make it appropriate for this like modern generation. And like mandating a 2-stop is just the biggest no-brainer. Yeah, true, you don't really need to tow in Monaco, that is a fair point. Like mandating a 2-stop, there is no good reason to not mandate a 2-stop at Monaco. There is no good reason. Because then you're putting more emphasis on the pit crews, getting their pit stops correct. You're adding an additional level of, potential chaos, essentially. Mandate all 3 compounds? Yeah, maybe, Kev. Maybe that's... We're still mandating a 2-stop at the end of the day. Yeah, so mandate all 3 compounds. I wouldn't necessarily be against that. But just make sure everyone has to come through the pit stops at least twice. Surely. Come on. No brainer. Right, this one's going to Germany. Which again, if you didn't see my stream yesterday, if you are interested in purchasing and you're in the EU, like this order here is going to Germany, you have until the end of today to place your order. Otherwise, that's it, because of GPSR or GSRP, which is some new EU law, because the wonderfully let's not get too political, but I don't endorse Brexit, but whatever, everyone's got their opinion and everyone's entitled to it. And there's been this new thing that's come in, and basically it's a lot more difficult for small businesses to sell to the EU now. You need like a representative in the EU, and I'm just me, just wanting to sell some t-shirts, so I'm not gonna go to that. It's, at least for the time being, it's not worth it for me to go to those extremities to try and accommodate for it. It's just not worth it. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to accept any EU orders after today. I'm going to go on the website and basically cancel the ability to order if you're ordering to a country in the EU and Northern Ireland, even Northern Ireland as well. So yeah, now or never. Now or never. Right, this one's for this. Large. That's a large, yeah. If I end up packing you the wrong size, I do apologise. It will literally be my fault and no one else's. Because I'm doing all this myself. But it's the personal touch, you know? The personal touch that I think a lot of YouTube merch misses the mark on. In my opinion. Right. Let me get this packed. No. Get back in there. Okay. There we go. This one's going to the USA. Bosch. International Tract. Lovely jubbly. Bosch. What do I drive? I drive an Audi. A white Audi because I'm a bellend. Sorry, it's just true. It's just true. What music am I into lately, Jamie? What am I into lately? Look at my... I don't use Spotify, I use YouTube Music because I already pay for YouTube Premium, so it's a no-brainer. There's nothing really like particularly relevant. I quite like Kendrick's new album, but I wouldn't say I'm like... I dip in and out. Gorillaz, Deadmau5. Yeah, nothing really. Chasing Status. Kind of easy wins for me. Bicep. Porter Robinson. Tame Impala. MGM2. Don't really have a strong, consistent. No, I've got a fairly. I mean, Deadmau5 and Prodigy and Gorillaz are all pretty consistent for me. Clinton, thank you for the super chat. Have all drivers an equal historical cars around Monaco? Well, they do. That race does exist, Clinton. They just need to make it a part of the official Formula One World Championship. Thank you, Adnis, as well. Do you think the cost cap protected the max dominance in this era Merc and Ferrari would have developed if they could? RB19 doesn't win 19 races. I don't necessarily think that's the truth. I think... Obviously, you look at when Mercedes dominated for as long as they did, but they dominated because they had an engine advantage, and it's not like you could... Obviously, the regulations kind of set the engine pretty much in stone, whereas, you know, Red Bull arguably developed just as good, if not a better, aerodynamic platform than Mercedes during the Mercedes dominance at times anyway. But because Mercedes always had that inherent engine advantage, they were safe. Do you think the cost cap protected max dominance in the era? No. You know what? No, I don't. Because any argument you make that, oh, well, Ferrari, Mercedes could have spent more, but then Red Bull would have spent more to just keep developing themselves. So I'm not sure if that's true. And obviously with the ATR, the sliding ATR, and Red Bull having that penalty for the overspend as well, like, you got to say that, I don't know. I would say I don't know to your question, Agnes. I think there's arguments for and against, but there's good arguments for and against, which means that you kind of end up with a... I don't know. I ain't got a Scooby-Doo. Right, I need an XL now. XL. Look at that bag, man. I'm well happy with that bag. It looks sick, man. This is like legit merch. I'm very happy with how it's come out. Is Crawley good or rubbish? Have you watched the... I've been to Crawley before. Very forgettable. I know where that's from. Because he was in Chelmsford a little while ago. Do you think McLaren deserved the constructors? Yeah, I mean, I think they've had the car. It's all well and good looking at McLaren, oh, they didn't deserve it because they messed up strategy, blah blah blah. But like, you got to then also consider the hundreds of other McLaren staff who are part of the car development that have turned this car around. And if you're going to say deserved, yeah, I think they did deserve it. I think that is, you know, Ferrari messed up massively in terms of their upgrades, you know, from like Canada onwards, didn't they? You know, they really, their correlation issues really messed them up. And you look now and you think, wow, Charles could have actually had a shot at the world title if they didn't, you know, misstep so badly back then. So it's all, you know, it's all swings and roundabouts. And obviously Red Bull, I think from a, you know, their race team has actually stayed very solid and on it and united, even with all the nonsense going on in the background at Red Bull. So yeah, I would say on balance McLaren probably did deserve it, but it was 14 points of a difference for a reason, because of how crazy tight it was. So yeah, I'd probably say they did, but I don't really have like a strong opinion. Ferrari made their mistakes, McLaren made their mistakes, Red Bull made their mistakes. No one was perfect this year, which is good, because it's like, cool, like, it's a bit more intriguing, a bit more interesting. It's the XL1 and to Ohio. There we go. Bosch. Another one. To grab another bag in a minute. Right, missed any super dupers. That one. Perfect cars. Hunter, I'd love for the final year of regulations to have no cost cap in the final year. Problem is though, in the final year, everyone's actually spending on next year. So like in 2025, everyone is actually going to be focusing their primary effort on the 2026 car. So if you have no regulations, that is just going to make 2026 massively all over the place, you know. But I get your theory, Hunter. But I just think in practice that probably wouldn't work. I don't think anyway. Clinton as well. F1, Tesla, going to be mostly electric anyway. I disagree. You know, I think there's been a bit of a pushback actually, because in the automotive industry, I know like Porsche are a good example. They were going all in on electric, and now all of a sudden it seems to have been a bit like, oh, hang on, actually, maybe this isn't the only way it's going to be in the future. And there's a bit more interest and experimentation with kind of synthetic fuels, which obviously F1 is going to be a part of that as well. And so I'm not actually convinced that F1 needs to, you know, there is this that there's a concerted effort to push through electric vehicles, but it's definitely not all just from an environmental point of view. No way, because, you know, electric cars, the cobalt and the raw materials that go into making the batteries are very, very environmentally damaging. How do you recycle the batteries? That can be very, very complicated and tricky. Like, just saying, oh, electric cars are good because they're protecting the environment is a very oversimplistic way of going about it. And like, if the power being generated for that electricity is coming from, you know, coal power plants anyway, you know, I just think that it's way more nuanced than people kind of make it out to be. And I think e-fuels are arguably the more viable solution to mobility, because I think electric cars in practice work really well, but it's just, can these batteries be made to last a long time? Can they be made out of less, you know, damaging, you know, like a solid state battery? You know, where are we with that? The technology is improving all the time, and like the used electric car market is dead. I mean, I think the Audi e-tron is a beautiful looking car. I'm half tempted to try and get one because they're so cheap at the minute. Well, relative to their, I mean, they're still not cheap. That's not true. But relative to their retail price, they've dropped like a stone. So I think actually that's a place where F1 can make a real difference, I think. Because isn't that what, that's what, what's his name? Paddy Lowe's working on, isn't he? He's working on like e-fuels. Jamie, man, you're being far too generous with the super chats. By September, do you like over mono? Never heard of over mono. Never heard of him. Got to be honest, Jamie. Do you think it's fair that Max effectively gets an advantage in aero testing to defend his driver's title because Checo couldn't drive the car? Yeah, I think that's fair. Look, if Red Bull want to build out a system where they've got this, and look, you can argue it's kind of like in the Schumacher dominance era, if the other teams were closer, if there was a cost cap back then, do I think Barrichello's always kind of finishing second behind Schumacher? Probably not. And if you go all in on that one driver, that is the kind of double-edged sword that comes with it. But yeah, you might finish third in the constructors, but the driver's title is what matters more to the fan base, I think. I do think attitudes are changing though. I think more and more people that I meet, they are team before driver, which I find strange personally, because I've always been more about the individual, the driver. But I think it is, attitudes are changing. I think the constructors is becoming a bigger deal, and it's always going to be a bigger deal when it's something that goes down to the line. And obviously McLaren haven't won it in 26 years, right? So they're going to make a big deal with it, as they should. Because it is a big deal given where that team was at the start of last year, right? Let alone not winning it for 26 years. So that you can't begrudge them for celebrating that at all, not at all. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things continue to change in time. Give over mono a crack. If you like bicep, I reckon you like them too. I'll pop that on my to listen to. Over mono. There you go. I'll give that a listen later. Any wheel recommendations for beginners with a reasonable price tag? Ooh, so hard. Honestly, I don't. What I would probably say, I mean, look, if you're just starting off with like a sim rig or whatever, like get something. I would always recommend buy used, to be honest, because you're always going to get people who are like looking to upgrade their rig. I don't know anything about rigs, right? I literally have zero wheel knowledge in that regard. Medium. And yeah, I think I would recommend buy used, as long as you can. It's probably people in chat can give better recommendations than me, or go and ask like Jardier or Jimmy or someone, or Steve. They'll have better shouts than me. I lack the wheel knowledge, the knowledge of that kind of wheel. Do you think Zandvoort deal Wending plus incoming baby will cause Max to retire by 26? No. I think we'll see. I think Max will retire at the end of 28. I think he will stick to that. I could see him giving Aston Martin a go, though. I could see him giving Aston Martin a shot. Alongside Fernando. Because then Lance has to be dropped. Lance has to be moved on to WEC then, you know. Give him a year in WEC. Just give him a year out of F1. It'd be good for Lance, right? Give him a couple of years out of F1 so we get Fernando and Max in and Aston Martin going for the title in 26. That's what I'd like to see. Right, this is... I've got to put something extra in this. What you know about rolling down in the deep? Can go there. I feel like I'm coming down with something. Right. This one is going to Germany. This one's actually going to someone that I recognise often in chat and have met before, but he's not here right now, which is a shame. But yes, Daniel, this is on its way. Oh, Ahmed, thank you very much for the super chat. Very, very, very appreciative. Thank you very much. Here's some Christmas treats for Minton. Are you hyped for Lewis v. Shaw in that Ferrari? Because I am. Keep up the great content, Tomo. Yeah, look, I really hope, and it is hope more than anything else, that Lewis can get on top of that Ferrari and give Shaw a run for his money. I hope. Do I believe it's going to happen? I'm struggling. I am. To be honest, I am struggling. But I'd love him to give Shaw something to think about and, yeah, challenge for a title in a Ferrari. I mean, come on. Like, that story would be incredible. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a big ask, right? Obviously, not just because of his age either, right? It's just going into a new environment, the environment that Shaw is incredibly adept to. Has been there a long time. That's all he knows outside of Sauber at the very start of his F1 career. You know, to ask Lewis to go into that environment and thrive is going to be. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. That's a guarantee. It's not going to be easy. But can he overcome it? I mean, his race ability is still clear of George. You know, he's still showing that he's got that. And like Kimi has said that before. I remember an interview he did after he retired, and he was like, Kimi was like, yes, I did lose my ultimate one lap ability, but to be a great racing driver, you don't need necessarily to have that out and out one lap pace. It's because very rarely, not very rarely, but like you're not often having to push and rely on absolute out and out one lap magic. It's way more often about managing the tyres, racecraft, strategy. Those are bigger determining factors on whether or not you will do well or not. Thank you, James, by the way, for the super chat. Ricardo to Cadillac F1, NASCAR, Australian V8s. I reckon we won't see Daniel in F1 again. I do not believe we'll see him in F1 again. I think he could do a job in F1, but I just think he's put that behind him. I think he... I'm excited to see what he does next. And I think Aussie V8s would be cool. I think IndyCar's where I'd like to see him most, just because that's more high profile. That's where I'd love to see him go. And I feel like IndyCar, you know, being in the States, it really suit his personality more than WEC as well, right? I think that's where I'd like to see him go. Obviously, yeah, media. He could go into a media career as well, definitely. But I'd like to see a bit more of him racing, you know? That's what I'd like to see. Actually, Woolong, Lewis outscored George over the 3 seasons they were level on points going into Abu Dhabi, but then obviously Lewis outscored George in Abu Dhabi. So Lewis actually technically came out on top over the 3 years in terms of points. Although, again, that doesn't really tell us anything. Not really. Got an extra small t-shirt here, going to the Netherlands. There you go. You're all meant to be tall in the Netherlands, aren't you? You tall Dutchies. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. This bag's getting full. Grab another one in a minute, I think. Ooh. Oh, IMSA. Yeah, he could do IMSA, but I feel like Indy would suit his personality, you know? His character. The character that is Daniel Avocado. Finland, this one's going to. Cool. And it's a large. Got a large here, Bosch. Lovely, jubbly, happy days. Have I watched much Aussie Supercars? You know what I haven't in recent years? I used to try and catch it when I could, like back in the Holden Ford days. But no, I've always just been a very casual observer of V8s. Obviously, the time difference doesn't exactly help being able to follow it. But back when like Scott McLaughlin was in it, like Jamie Whincup, SVG, like those kind of days, I used to kind of watch it fairly casually. Same with like WRC as well. Like I just, you know, it's hard to make time for all the sport. There's so much sport out there that I want to watch, and it's hard to make time for all of it. Hello, Theos in Memphis. Love that. Taking your son to school. Love it. Some father, son, and Tommo bonding. Any words of advice for Max as he enters fatherhood? That's cool. Hello, Joe in Ohio. One of these orders is going to Ohio, Joe. There you go. Gosh, lovely jubbly. But that's the WRC, like every Finn out there, yeah? Possibly. What is next, Valtteri? What is next? Yeah, True Max has been a stepdad for a while now, hasn't he? Or is he technically stepdad? I don't even know. But a bonus dad, as he calls it, to P, which is very sweet. Right, now on to Germany. A large. Let's come out. Mikel Antonio. Yes, geez, yeah, did you hear about that? Yeah, so West Ham player Mikel Antonio had a crash. It looks like I actually think I know what road, because it said it was in Essex, and as a Essex man myself, I'm just checking the print on that. Yeah, I think I actually know where that happened. But yeah, it's a nasty shunt by the pictures that I've seen, and he was lucky to. I mean, if Sporf posted a picture of the car and it was like a Ferrari, and it's like the whole right hand of the car is like ripped off, and it's basically, I think it was a left-hand drive Ferrari, and if it was a right-hand drive, he'd have died almost definitely. But yeah, it's pretty sketchy, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what could have been a lot worse. I think his career, to be honest, I think his career will be the least of his problems. Like, geez, it could have been so much worse. Looking at the state of the car after. Yeah, hopefully he'll be all right. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see him back, but that's not really a priority for him, right? Right, it's the large. See the Formula E crash? Yeah. Pascal Wehrlein, wasn't it? I flipped over. I saw someone mention Formula E. To be honest, I do. Look, I've not been a lover of Formula E. I don't like the sound. I will never like the sound. I don't like the tracks, mostly. I think Formula E around Mexico is great. The more like the purpose-built tracks, I think Formula E works quite well. I'll never like the sound. That's okay. Like, each their own. But I think it is probably improving. It's not behind a paywall in the UK this year, which is good. Got it on ITV. Because I think paywall would have been the worst thing for it. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, it's just finding the time. Like, do I, with my focus on F1 and all the other stuff I, spend my time doing, I just don't have time for Formula E, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Right, we need the wrong size. We need a small for this one. Things will be the same. Do-do-dun, do-do-dun, do-do-dun. Ali, you're designing your University Motorsports Club merch. Nice. We started for inspiration. What I'd say is just put a mood board together of like, just get a Google Slides open, and just put a mood board together. Just go on like Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Just print screen in different things that you like the look of like motorsport merch. Or like logos, I guess, because you're designing like it's probably going to be a logo first and foremost, isn't it? That you're designing. So like, have a look at examples and just chuck them all on a mood board on a Google slide, and just kind of refine it from there. You'll use Squarespace. I wouldn't use Squarespace for that, Sander. To be honest. You don't need to build your own website for that application. If you do need to build your own website, then definitely go to squarespace.com/TOMMO'F1 for 10% off of your very first website or domain. But otherwise, wouldn't bother. Just use Google Slides, That'll do the trick. That is literally like, that line is like ingrained into my mind. Which is the perfect, the perfect ad read. It's one you don't have to think about. What would you like to attend more? Monaco GP, Indy 500, or Le Mans 24? Probably Monaco. Realistically, Monaco. Then Indy, then Le Mans. Feels like season flew by. Yeah, I know, right? I remember in the stream yesterday, someone said that Max saying about if my mum had balls, she'd be my dad, was this year. I'm like, what? There's no way he said that this year. Maybe he didn't. But surely he didn't. But I think he did. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah. Bow bow bow. Diddle doo doo doo. Was that Miami? That's crazy. That is crazy. That feels like years ago. He said that. That actually feels like years ago. Ludicrous. Bloody mouse keeps getting in the way. Do 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 do. Do you think comments about Charles being mistake prone are outdated? Yeah, I do. I think now he's kind of worked on that, and he's spoken about it. How he would be guilty of over driving a bit too much, and it's just finding that balance, right? And it's been said by many a great team principal. You'd rather have a driver who is guilty of driving over 100% but bring them back than a driver who never gets to that point. And Charles, I think, just over time has gradually worked on And like that lap one just was preposterous yesterday. It was actually ridiculous, that lap one. And he just picked his way through, took the risks, but you know, placed his car fantastically, and yeah, I think Shah was kind of moved past that. Like, he'll still make mistakes, as does anyone. And that's the thing as well, right? Because Shah will make mistakes, and it's important to not like knee jerk and be like, "Oh, it's Shah. Shah just being crash happy again." Because like it's if it becomes a habit, and it was a habit at one stage, but I think he's got through that now. I absolutely think he's got through that now. Skulls, I won't be doing individual videos per team breaking down the season. I will be doing individual videos per team's livery launch next year. So that'll keep me busy. But, well, when I do my end of season driver ratings, which will be on Wednesday, hopefully that'll go out, I will talk about each driver individually. So that should hopefully tick that box. Right, another small. Another small. Did I see the Santander news? No, I didn't, Rainer. What's happened with Santander? Have they moved to Williams? Or have they just left Ferrari? Oh, that's my guess. Yes, another small. Another sticker. And there. I'm starting to need a wee. I might have to take a little break in a bit and just leave you with a blank screen to talk amongst yourselves. Santander to Williams, is it? Nice. Yeah, not surprised. That's big for Williams. That's the thing as well, right? Obviously, that kind of deal helps offset the inevitably high wage that Carlos is asking for. But then he's like, well, yeah, I should ask for a higher wage because I'm bringing sponsor A, sponsor B. But yeah, Santander on the Williams, that's going to be sick. They might lean into the red a bit more, maybe, with their livery, Williams. But that's cool. That's exciting. That shirt handing on the door scared you. Oh no. Oh no. Minter could cover the stream during the time. The only problem is he can't stand up as tall as me, right? That's the only difficulty in that. Right. I'm going for a wee. Be right back. I'm back, and I've brought along with me a certain Mr. Short-haired, long, brown, beautiful sausage dog. Do you like being on my hat, Minton? Yes, you do. Here he is. Here he is. Yes, I wash my hands, Jamie. I knew someone was going to say that. There he is. The dog. The boy. The boy wonder. The boy wonder is here. You've been kipping, ain't you? You've been kipping. Oh, big yawn. See if you'll yawn into the mic. A bit ASMR dog. Go on, make a noise, Minton. Make a noise into the microphone. Minton. You gonna yawn? I'm trying to set him off. No. Not gonna work, is it? Things that Tomo can say that Christian Horner can't. Oh, Patrick. Oh dear. Good boy. Good boy. Right, I'm going to put you down. Say bye to everyone. Bye-bye. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go, fella? Where do you want to go? Scratch. What's my favourite sandwich? I know what yours is. The HAM, isn't it, Minton? Isn't it? Go on, make some cute noises in the mic. No. Good boy. Right. Well then, off you trot. You can go out. You can go out if you want. Do you want me to bring your bed in here? Bring your bed in here. Maybe you'll just settle. Right. Put it here. There you go. Right. You can get in your bed now, mate. Ah, right. How much is the Minton cheese tax? Oh, yes. He's a frequenter. No, you can't go in the bag with the bags in. Get your bed. Come on. Right. Anyway, we have more teas to pack. Cool. Got 2XL. 2XL. Do you own any scale model F1 cars? I've got the Lego Mercedes over there. That was a gift from Matt Amos, actually, for Christmas last year. Big up, Matt. Other than that, I do not. In the bag. Come on. In the bag you go. Bosh. Lovely jubbly. Right there. Fold this up and over. Boom. Bosh, this is going to LA. Very nice. Very nice. California love. Do 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 do. Oh, Lysander. Lopetegui out already. That would be crazy moves. That would be crazy moves. Right. Cool. That's all then, Pat. Where's the dog gone? He's gone back to bed. He's literally gone back to bed. Hilarious. Right, cool. Well, we've got loads more labels, so but that is a whole bag full. of orders. Let me. All of these. And these are just individual T-shirt orders. So, yes. It's quite heavy, but it's fine. Thank you, Luis. I'm going to say Luis. Thank you very much for Luis for the super chat. Expectation for Bortoleto in the 25 season. Plus, who do you think could lose his job first other than Checo? Because that's the easy option. Yeah. I think that... Look, Gabriel, you don't go back-to-back F3, F2 if you're not unbelievably talented. And only Charles, George and Oscar have done it before. So that's a pretty 100% record of banger drivers who have done that. So... Obviously, fortunately, Sauber have turned a bit of a corner with that Vegas upgrade, and I'm bloody glad, because things were looking really bad, right? And I think Hulkenberg deserves better than that. Bottas and Joe also did, of course, right? But also, yeah, Bortoleto, it's good that whatever they've changed up has worked. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit better about Bortoleto's chances to actually be able to showcase his ability, you know. And I think, you know, fair play to McLaren for actually letting him go as well, because there's no opportunity in the McLaren top seat anytime soon, so there's no value them holding on to him just for the sake of it, because that would just be stalling his career. But yeah, look, I think Bortoleto, I mean, why shouldn't he be amazing, you know? There's no reason to believe he won't be, because, again, you don't do back-to-back F3 and F2 and win arguably the most competitive F2 season of all time if you're a mug, you know? Yeah, Hajar at VCarb feels like it's going to be... He definitely needs to... He's got a lot to work on, Isaac. I'm not overly confident if he does take that Racing Bull seat that he'll be in it by the end of the season, to be honest. Fair play, like, obviously, you know, finishing second in F2 is nothing to be scoffed at. They're giving him the opportunity, but it just doesn't... It doesn't feel like it's going to be great, to be honest. Because Hajar's clearly got a lot of talent, a lot of ability, but also, you know, has he got the full package? Bortoleto seems like a lot more measured and complete, but also he's got that quiet confidence as well. Has Gabriel. Okay, that's them all printed off. Now I need to go and get the sizes for each one, for each T. Halita, are you here in the chat, by the way? Because if you are, this is your order that I'm packing. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Louis. And thank you, Gobaru. Gobaru? Who do you think in your gut will win the next crazy F1 race? I'm going Albon Science heavy 1-2 in the rain. You are here. There you go, lovely. Good question. Next crazy F1 race. Who's going to, like, capitalise? Hulkenberg podium in a Sauber. Like, come on. Come on. Come on. Please. I beg. I beg you. This is what I need. Okay, so... Cool. Put all the stickers. Funny. Right. That was that. I need to grab your tea. What box would it be in? This one. This one. Stickers. Bosh. Patrons get an extra sticker, by the way. Cool, that's in. That's the right size. Here's the tea. Fold it over. Put it in this bag. So then you've got the caps as well. These orders all have teas and caps. And the the Patreon exclusive dodgy caps as well. Don't worry, they're both in there as I put them in now. Okay, gosh, that's in. Fold this over. And then put the labels on. Bosh. Yes, you get exclusive Minton pictures, exclusive live streams. There you go. What's wrong with the hats? No, basically, you know, I don't know if I said there's a reason the pink on the cap is different to the pink on the t-shirt, because the supplier let me down, unfortunately, and they didn't change the colour of the pink like I requested them to. And they also did not print TOMMO'S on the back of 6 of the caps. So, yeah, I'm getting my money back on them, because I'm not going to sell them, but I'm just chucking them in with the patrons' orders. Yeah, frustrating, but there's only so much you can do yourself. Sometimes you've got to rely on other people for things, and other people let you down. So, annoying, but is what it is. Is what it is. Right, that's yours in there, Halita. I'm done. Cool. Right. Next. No, you do not get a birthday card, Seamus. Is Lando Norris Arsenal? He said he's Man United, isn't he? I think Lando's a United fan, which is highly disappointing for a kid from Glastonbury. Come on. Thank you, Yaramir, for gifting some memberships as well. Very kind of you. And thank you, HB. Very kind. Thank you for the super chat. Cheers for the fun season, Tomo. Got a questionable prediction. I'd love your thoughts on. Cadillac are making a big push into China right now. Could they be interested in Joe for 2026 as a reserve? Interesting. So obviously that was always the underpinning of my argument as to why Joe was such a good fit for Audi, because of the Chinese, how important the Chinese market is, right? And like I said earlier, the Chinese market is moving more and more away from European brands and towards towards kind of their own, BYD, etc. But yeah, obviously any brand that can affiliate itself with Zhou Guanyu, their first F1 driver, full-time F1 driver, is surely going to benefit. And if Cadillac are pushing in that direction, also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the fella who's been announced as the Cadillac team principal, is he not Joe's manager? I'm sure, I would Google it, but to be honest, I can't be asked. And you're here, live chat, so you can tell me. But I'm sure I heard on the commentary, it is. Yeah, Avon, Alita, thank you. Yeah. So it's doubly kind of, if Joe can just keep present in Ferrari as a reserve for this year, and then make himself very, very available for Cadillac in 26. I could absolutely see that happening. I definitely could see that happening. Definitely. No doubt. Would he deserve it? I mean, that's questionable. I do think that he's better than he's been able to show. But, yeah. It's difficult. It is difficult. Right, this order has a medium T and a large T and a cap. Goated. Graham Loudon, that's his name. Yes, thank you. Right, I need to grab a large T. Which means I need to move some boxes around. Oh. Need to open this one up. Where's them scissors that I had yesterday? Oh, they're there. Opening boxes of t-shirts. Large. Okay. Job's a good one. Bosh. So we have a medium, we have a large. I'll put the stickers in here. Well, don't get me wrong, I don't think Joe's better than Bottas, but I think that he's just better than he's been able to showcase during his time in F1. You know? Or at least during this season, because I think actually, I do feel like he's been actually alright in his first 2 years. Like, obviously, rookie at the start, a bit rough around the edges, but actually got pretty close to Valtteri. But then how much of that is Valtteri being held back by the car himself as well? Like, it is hard to say, like, definitively, you know. This is going to be a tight squeeze in this bag. Okay. Squeeze it down a bit. And then caps. Cap. Yeah, we'll take that one. That's the yeah. That works. Can just be an extra bag. I'll try and close this bag up now. Yeah, I think Joe keeps it pretty clean. He doesn't have a lot of accidents, and I think he's got a decent 1 lap pace ceiling. He just doesn't hit it as consistently as Valtteri, but again, like, Valtteri's not, the thing is as well, that's what I guess kind of did somewhat impress me about Joe, is that I think over the course of their time as teammates, and yes, you can look at their head-to-heads and be like, Valtteri dominated him, but I wouldn't use the word dominated. I wouldn't use the word dominated over the course of their entire career as teammates, and given the context that Joe was a rookie at the start. Yeah, I think a safe midfield driver is a fair. And look, I want the best in F1, right? Do I want a grid full of safe midfield drivers? No, but I'm just saying that if I'm looking at Joe, I think he's a safe midfield driver. Like, right, who had a better season this year, Stroll or Joe, in your opinion? Who were you more impressed with, or less unimpressed with this season, Joe or Stroll? And I really don't think I just believe this because it's Stroll, and Stroll's an easy driver to, you know, pick apart. But I think Joe's had a lot more adversity. He's been a lot more up against it, and yeah, I mean, he's not done an amazing job, but I think he's done deep, like not deep. I think he's been okay considering what he's been up against, and the Frankenstein cars he's been chucked at him. Like, you know, all this one's going to New Jersey, which is where I was recently doing my little track. I'm actually that video. What is it up to now? That New Jersey track walk video is actually it's a slow burner, but it's ticking along really well actually. The view curve, what's it up to now? 62,000 views. It's actually doing. It started really slowly, that video, but it's only just like today gotten into the normal video distribution range for a video after 16 days, which it was 16 days ago I uploaded it. But it was like it just flatlined at the start. Not flatlined, but it was really slow at the start. But now it's kept going up. And actually it's quite interesting. So that video has there's a lot of comments, a lot of engagement from people in New York, New Jersey, which is kind of interesting. And in the analytics, the audience is 43% US. 43% US. Now, typical video for me is about 20% US. So it's so yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool how different videos just, you know, appeal to a different subset of individuals. You know. Right, need another large t-shirt and the cap, which I can just grab one of these bags. So I've already pre-packed the cap into a lot of these bags. Put a sticker in there. The usual US and UK percentages are basically 20% each. It's usually 20% US, 20% UK on a typical video. So 40% of my viewership is US or UK. That still means over half isn't, which is kind of interesting and kind of cool, I think. Obviously a lot of Aussies, a lot of Canadians. So it is majority English-speaking countries. I'm assuming the Quebec side of Canada isn't quite as on board with my stuff as the Vancouver, Toronto side. Oh. You know about rolling down the dew. Okay, this is the New Jersey order. New Jersey. Yeah, Weehawken was cool. I like Weehawken. Would recommend. Oh, Canada, and obviously Kiwis as well. The viewership statistics denote cities. I don't think they do, Ali. It's a good question. I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure they don't. Christopher from Malaysia, thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Yeah, look, obviously English is the most widely spoken language, right? Isn't it? I think. So obviously works for me. The rest of my viewers are Ireland. Exactly. Okay. Next one we have. This is going to the Czech Republic, Czechia, and it is another. These are all 1T 1 cap orders. So already packed the cap in here, and just add the T with the stickers. Is it Mandarin? Could be Mandarin. I just worldwide speakers, because obviously a lot of India speak English. I'm sure a lot of Chinese people speak English as well. So I'm not talking like native languages. I'm talking like spoken languages. Like English is just the one that, and obviously I'd love to learn another language. It's just if I'm not going to move to another country, it's going to be, you know, to get opportunities to actually speak it. It would be tricky. What's my favourite F1 camera shot? Ooh, good question. You know what? Actually, it's definitely the new wide angle, the one that they have on the gimbal. Thank you, Gobberoo. It's definitely the gimbal one. Although I do find it, I don't love it on like on Zandvoort when we first saw it. I think that's when we first saw it. When it's like a really undulating track, it almost gives me a bit of motion sickness. But when it's quite a flat track like Abu Dhabi, and just generally like that wide angle shot is so much better. It just gives so much more sense of speed. And obviously you've got a bit of vibration, a bit of shaking in there as well. I think that is a great camera. Like if they kept that camera but didn't have the gyro. Yeah, see, Helita, I didn't like it in Zandvoort, to be honest. It was like, I didn't dislike it. I just, going through the banked corners, it was a bit too much for me. But maybe I'm just a woke. I'm just too woke for a gyro camera. Tommo gone woke. But no, I do like even with the motion, I still prefer it to the standard onboard camera. I still prefer the standard onboard camera, definitely. Someone else, Lauren, what's your stats for South Africa? I'll have a look. Lauren. What are my stats for South Africa? Let's have a look. Top geography is last. Do 90 days. It's a bit more reflective. South Africa is at 1.8%. 39,332 views in the last 90 days have come from South Africa. There you go. There you go. Love it. Big up. Beautiful country. Had a great time there earlier this year. How about Azerbaijan? Let's have a look. Azerbaijan. See if Azerbaijan features. Well, it only shows me the top 50. And unfortunately, Azerbaijan is not in the top 50. The 50th is Latvia with 2,691 views in the last 90 days. In the last 3 months. I've got 2,691 views from Latvia. So you can actually break it down. So certain countries on YouTube Analytics allow you to break the country down. So in the US, in the last 90 days, I've had 460,000 views, and 67,191 of them have been California, 38,000 New York, 35,000 Texas, 25,000 Florida, 16,000 Illinois, Pennsylvania, Washington, Massachusetts. Interesting. So it does actually break it down, but not for all countries. It's like Canada, India, Germany, UK, it does. Brazil, it does. Spain, Mexico, Vietnam, it does. Vietnam's, that's quite interesting. It breaks down the like Da Nang City, Ho Chi Minh City, Lam Dong, Hanoi. It breaks that down for Vietnam, but it doesn't break down Australia or South Africa or or Italy or France. It doesn't break them down at all. That is. No, it doesn't for Ireland. It doesn't break down Ireland. That's me. America's big, but like, I'm just surprised that like, it breaks down Vietnam, but it doesn't break down France or Italy. Interesting. Yeah, I was in went Cape Town, and then did the garden route down the coast. What was the winery place we stayed at? Franschhoek? Is that Slovakia? Oh no! Drop the stickers. Where'd they go? Yo! Oh, I don't know. I'll find them later. They're just extra stickers. Where's Slovakia? This is just going to be like you know what, we're here for a good time. Slovakia has just made it into the top. Slovakia is 47th. 2,981 views of my in the last 90 days have come from Slovakia. There you go. Yeah, Franschhoek was amazing. Really, really cool place. We stayed at a place called Seven Copies. Unbelievable. The view was just preposterous. Ridiculous. Would recommend. Anyway, right, I've got orders to pack. So this one is the UK. Oh, it's going to York. Big up York. Was in York. I was in last month. I was in York and then New York, like 2 weeks later. So I experienced both Yorks in short succession. Very, very different places. Very, very different. Right. This is a medium t-shirt and a cap. Cool. Medium tee here. Hinton's not even in his bed, and it's just in the way. Right, we can go out there. Don't worry, Minton wasn't in the bed. Yeah, Old York was cool. It was just so busy. It was just mad busy. I didn't realise how like Harry Potter it is there. I didn't realise how like that's what they modelled Diagon Alley off, didn't they? Isn't it? In York? That's what they. I'm sure that's what they modelled it off. But yeah, cool place. Just absolutely ramo. We were there for like 3 weeks, so I had good exposure to the language, but I certainly wouldn't claim to be a. And my uncle is South African, not my blood relative auntie's husband, so not my blood uncle, but yeah, Errol's South African, although he's lived in Australia most of his life, but still has a thick South African accent. There you go. It was New Amsterdam before it was New York, really? It's kind of cool, if true. Ooh. Is the Czech Republic above Slovakia? No, I don't think it is. No, Czech Republic's not even in the top 50. Jaromir, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, it's not. He's not even broke top 50. Not even broke top 50. What's going on here? Let's just go in the bag. Every PE teacher in Australia is from South Africa. Is that a thing, Angus? That seems very niche. Alright. Don't worry, I'll check your country in the list. Let me just pack this order and then we'll check. Got some competitive rivalries going on in the chat. Am I ever going to go clean shaven? No, the internet should not be subjected to me clean shaven. Jaywoods, not with my very weak jawline and acne scars. Absolutely not. Sorry, Inside. Did I miss your super chat? Don't worry. I'll make sure. I'll make sure I get to them all. Thank you again, HB, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Might have been asked already, but was the fall off in Colapinto's hype warranted? And would you put him in the ERB if Hajar can't cut it? Look, I think that the hype around Colapinto, as soon as he had a good start, that hype was out of control, and it was always going to be out of control at the start because, first Argentinian driver in F1 for a long time, right? And the biggest hope for a fan base that is clearly very keen on an F1, or very keen on F1 and getting a driver into F1. The history of where it's Fangio or Reutemann, I think that the appetite is absolutely there, clearly. I think that, it was always going to have this. I mean, what? Joe scored on debut, points on debut. Tsunoda scored points on debut. But then Tsunoda had a really crashy first year, and Joe is obviously now out of F1. It's all well and good having a really good start, but sustaining those levels, that's what is I think most challenging. And obviously, Franco's had a lot of accidents. He's also in a tricky Williams. I think that kind of gets taken into account. And I'm kind of glad that, because you don't want to set kind of too high expectation of these young drivers. I think they can, as much as they can swim, and he did swim at the start, you can also sink. And I think that, I hope Colapinto stays at Williams, develops and improves. They give him lots of FP1s and old car running, and they make him a really strong candidate for if, Albon or Sainz, get tempted elsewhere, or if one of them's struggling, obviously more likely Albon, realistically, right? Franco's there waiting, knocking on the door. Williams develop him. Williams obviously put him front and centre, kind of like Alpine did with Oscar, kind of like Alpine did with Doohan. They can still benefit from Franco's commercial viability. Obviously not giving him a full-time F1 seat will, it won't fully satisfy the Argentine fan base, of course, understandably so, but it's something. And I think Williams, that could be like a really good, Albon, Sainz, Colapinto on the sidelines, can jump in. They know he can do a job if he's called upon. And they've both, had their appendixes out, so that's one less thing to go wrong for both of them, I suppose. But I think it's going to work out all right for Colapinto. I think he will get onto the grid. I think it will happen. It might take 26 or even 27 for it to happen, but I think he'll get there eventually. That's my opinion. I definitely believe in the kid. I think he's got fantastic. He's shown he's got that one lap ability. He's got the charisma. I think he's got a maturity about him as well. Yes, he's had a lot of incidents recently, but I've far from given up on him. And I think everyone just, people get carried away, but it's just, objectively, he's done a good job. He's definitely impressed more than Logan ever did in that short period. And I think he's shown that, Williams can, I think, rely on him as a solid, good, reserve option and could potentially be a very capable racing driver for them. So, I think that's my opinion. I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't move to Red Bull if I was him. I would stay at Williams. Plus, I don't think that Red Bull opportunity is open anymore. If Racing Bulls were offering him a seat, it would be very, very difficult to turn down, and it'd be very difficult to endorse him turning it down. Hard to say. It's hard to say. But yeah, thank you, Difficult Insight, for the super chat as well. You don't know this. It was stated by Nico, and on Austrian TV in Brazil, Nico couldn't get out of Q1 because Haas didn't give him full battery usage. Why wouldn't they give him full battery usage? Was it an issue, or they just... Interesting. I wonder what the context of that is, and why that happened. What about New Zealand, Kiwi B? New Zealand's quite high up. New Zealand's is, or New Zealand. No, the way you pronounce New Zealand when you're from New Zealand is really hard to. New Zealand. No, it's really like, it's really deep. I feel that's really deep when you say it. You are 27,931 views from New Zealand, New Zealand, in the last 90 days. The top 10, USA, UK, Australia, top 3. Then Canada, Netherlands, India. So that's 4 to 6. And then Germany, South Africa, Sweden, and P10, Brazil. There you go. Obrigado to all my Brazilian viewers out there. Am I okay? No, I'm not, Jamie. I'm going crazy. Slowly. New Zealand. New Zealand. Yes, West. That's how you say it. New Zealand. I'm from New Zealand. Yes. Oh my God, West. That is genius. News Island. Yes, that's New Zealand. Yeah. Okay. We have an understanding now. Oh yeah, sorry. Where's Romania? Romania. Oh, sorry. I lied about the Czech Republic because it's on here as Czechia and I didn't see it. So Czechia's 11,441 in the last 90 days. 0.5% of my viewership is from Czechia. But Romania just beats Czechia with 13,867 votes. 0.7%. And then Malaysia just beats out Romania, 13,936 views, 0.7% as well. So Malaysia, Romania and Czechia are all one after the other. Although the average view duration in Malaysia... Oh, my, what? That's so weird. So the average... It tells you also the average view duration, right? And most countries, it's about 11 minutes. Oh, this is interesting. So... US 11 minutes 14 seconds, UK 12 minutes 8 seconds, Australia 11 minutes 7 seconds, Canada 10 minutes 54, etc, etc. But then there's some outliers. So India is 7 minutes 15 seconds, Brazil is 8 minutes 2 seconds, Philippines and Singapore both 7.5 minutes, Spain is low, Spain is like 9.5 minutes, but then Malaysia is 7 minutes 32 seconds, whereas Romania, Czechia, Greece, all Switzerland, Denmark, all over 11 minutes. But Malaysia is only 7 minutes. And Vietnam, bro, that must be bots. Vietnam is 3 minutes 48 seconds. Vietnam is by far the lowest average view duration. By far. That's yeah, average view duration. This is average view duration for my videos in the last 90 days. That's so weird. That is so weird. Yeah, it was an issue or mistake on Haas's part in Brazil. So that's why Nico was so good in the sprint but bad in quali. There you go, see? Although he still had a stinker in the race, didn't he? Unfortunately. But yeah, that does explain why his... performance swung so wildly from the sprint to yeah. The thing is, like for average view duration, it it does vary, because obviously you get a lot of you. I'm very grateful you watch the whole video, and that is the best way. If you want to support someone on YouTube and support what they do, watch the whole video, because view duration is the thing that YouTube looks at most. And if you what am I trying to say? If you see a video that you're maybe interested in watching it later, if you just click on it, watch, a bit and then click off, that kind of hurts the video in a way, because it then lowers the average view duration. But yeah, so if you get a bunch of people who watch the whole video, but then a bunch of people who click on and click off straight away, that will kind of average the average view duration out, kind of somewhere in the middle, Where does Croatia rank? Croatia's just behind Vietnam. But Croatia's got a good AVD. 10 minutes on the dot for Croatia. Croatia's just above Kenya, and then Turkey, and Pakistan, Bulgaria, Chile, Serbia, Lithuania, Slovakia, Estonia, Slovenia, Latvia. Latvia's 50th. That's so interesting. That's very interesting. Right. Anyway, I need to pack some orders. What time does the post office close today? God, I need another wee. I'm gonna go for another wee. Sorry, the Ribena went right through me. And I'm gonna check when the post office closes as well. Be right back. Posty closes at 5:30, so I've got time. What, 2 hours 20 we've been live for? I said we were here for a long time, not a good time. Boom, hello. I'm back. And yes, I washed my hands. I did wash my hands. How's chat's Christmas shopping going? Yes, Rich, actually, yeah. Everyone get on your Christmas shopping, alright? Get on it. Don't leave it late. Don't be foolish. Right, next order. This is going to the US, to MN. Is it MN Minnesota? I think it's Minnesota, isn't it? Right, we need a medium. Medium box. Yes. Okay. Move that back here. My box down here. This got some mediums in it. Where do I put these? Put them up there. That's the broken one. Yeah, one of the caps they sent me was broken as well, so that's obviously not going to be sold. Move these outside actually. That bag's full of orders. And then I can put this here. I got some mediums in here. Medium. Over there. Wash. You've already done it all. Very good, Alita. Very good. Very good. Shopping will have to wait till the weekend. When is Tommo's Racing Goods going into Continental? What do you mean, Privy? I'm already shipping to everywhere, apart from the EU, after tomorrow. So again, if you're in the EU and you want a t-shirt or a cap, then get your order in by the end of the day today. Otherwise, it's now or never. Right, sticker goes in here. Where are the other stickers? Got more stickers here. Look how many I've got. Loads of stickers. But I can't afford to be too generous with them because they will disappear quite quickly. But Patreon orders get an extra sticker. Oh, I've already put a sticker in there. Did I? I don't remember putting this sticker in. Gosh, there we go. Chuck that in. Jamie, go to bed, mate. Go to bed. You can watch the rest tomorrow. Sleep is important, and I say that as a person who doesn't get very good sleep, to be honest. Right, medium. Get the cap. What's my workflow for the packing? Well, I've kind of worked out a workflow that I think is as efficient as I can be. So I've got all the orders. I've got my Squarespace, of course, back end to my website open up, and I've already printed out the labels. So then I'm just getting each label, searching the name, and then it shows me what they've ordered. So this order is a medium t-shirt and a cap. So then I pack the order and stick the sticker on. I used to actually work in that's where I met Hannah actually. Worked at a online e-commerce clothing retailer. And so for like Black Friday, everyone would have to get involved with the packing of orders because Black Friday was such a big order time of the year, you know. Oh, Seamus, I've just seen a certain name pop up on these labels. Sorry, Carts. I'm not seeing all the messages. I'm spinning a few plates here. What was your question? Do you watch Formula E? No, I don't. To be honest, I would give it a go if I had time, but I just don't have the time to dedicate, unfortunately. And with the F1, and I'm still follow the football, following like F2. I'm trying to follow F2 and F3 a bit more. Yeah, I just didn't get off to a great start with Formula E, and I'm just not really not gone back to it, to be honest. What's my favourite tea? I like kind of fruity teas. I don't like actual normal tea at all. Right, Seamus, got your order here, mate. Right, cool. You. And then cap as well. And I'll put one of the Duff caps in for you as well. So that's your proper cap. Proper with the actual print on the back like it should be. And I'll chuck one of the Duff ones in as well, where they didn't print that on the back. And that is your Patreon privilege. And I'll chuck an extra sticker in as well. No reprints, I'm afraid, Jamie. Sorry. No reprints. But I'm much happier with this tee than I was the first one, to be honest. Like, the design, like, I'm equally happy, but the actual feeling and the quality and the fit, I'm personally much happier with this one than the other. No coffee, no tea. Yeah, AJ, I know. I'm a. You know, I actually have started quite a bad habit as of late, which is like Coke Zero / Pepsi Max. I never used to drink any of that, and then like fairly recently I kind of started, and that's my, yeah. I should kind of knock that on the head, really. I don't drink it loads, but liquor or gravy with my pie. When I do a pie and mash, I'll get the full shebang, the liquor as well. I don't mind the liquor. I don't mind the liquor with my pie and mash at all. Right. T-shirt, cap, extra cap. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Right, Seamus, yours is done. And yours is one of those orders that you're in the EU, so it was now or never, and you got your order in, so thank you very much, Seamus. Appreciate that. There's a lot of letters in your address, mate. There's a lot of letters. Oh, right. Cool. Take British Spice, hold it. No, the British Spice. I can't be British Spice if I don't like tea, can I? Ricardo, Tomo, do you have any thoughts on WRC Dutch in the hybrid systems? You don't watch it often, but I'd love to hear more on your opinion on rallying in general. Yeah, I'd love to see rallying in person. If they do they race in Wales anymore? I know they obviously used to, but I don't think they do, right? Anymore? But I feel like there's talk of, or was it Scotland? Was it Scotland they were thinking about going back? I think, yeah, I'd love to actually go in person, absolutely, to see some rally racing, 100%. Because you see the phone videos of the flybys, and it's just like, oh my god. Especially in like when you get the races in like Eastern Europe, the Polish fans going mad. Bless me. Ugh. Ooh. God, that rearranged my insides a bit. That. Right. Remember, always sneeze into your elbows so you're not getting it on your hands. Right. Cool. Thank you for blessing me. Right, we need a grande large for this order. Okay, sticker, in we go. Yeah, it was Ireland. Yeah, no, I think rally drivers are the most gifted racing drivers in the world. I do absolutely believe that. I think the way the talent to race rally, the no fear approach, and that for me, you know, that's what got me into motorsport. It was like touring cars, it's like early BTCC, like early 2000s BTCC, and rally. That's kind of what got me into motorsport. Those are the cars that I fell in love with first, like as a kid, even before like F1 cars. It was touring cars. Like I never really played the F1 games as a kid, but I loved like the Toka Touring Car Championship games like Gran Turismo, where you can race kind of GT cars, rally cars. Yeah, Toka. The one with the yellow Laguna and yellow and blue Laguna and the Audi on the front cover. Absolutely love that game. That's one of my favourite games. Was that the first one? I think it was the first one, yeah. And you had like the Accords, like the red and white Honda Accords. You had the yellow and green Peugeot 406. You had the Volvo, not the Estate. You didn't have the Estate in that game. Did you ever use the cheat code when you had a tank? No, I didn't, Jamie. I had no idea that was a thing. Good old-fashioned cheat codes. Back when you couldn't just look up everything in on the internet. Right. Caps in there. Hats, yeah, cool. Stickers are in there as well. Sweet. Unbelievable game. When I went to where was it? It was it? No, it wasn't Pro Drive. There's a Haynes Motor Museum in the UK. It's like, where is it? It's like in the West Country. I'm sure it was when we were going to Cornwall. When me and Ham went to Cornwall, we went past it, and they have the old Williams, because that Laguna was Williams race engineered. And they had it in there, and I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. You know when like your parents or grandparents were always like, oh, things ain't as good as it used to be. I understand that now. I feel like, you know, the old cheat code days. Golden age of video gaming. Yeah, microtransactions just ruined it all. What size of your shirt do you personally wear? According to measurements I took of a shirt I like, I should be a small, but I'm usually a large. Yeah, so these are quite oversized. This is a large, like I wear a large, and it's a oversized boxy t-shirt, and those measurements are measurements, and I've checked them myself as well. To the large, anyway. The large tee is like because that's what I wear, so I wanted to make sure it fits. I'm happy with the fit first and foremost, and yeah, build in a bit of preference. So the thing is as well, in Equity, the cotton it's not pre-shrunk, so once you put it through a wash, it will lose a little bit of its size. It will shrink a little bit, which is that's what happens when you don't have pre-shrunk cotton. And if you use pre-shrunk, it makes the cost crazy. Like, it's not even close. So most garments you buy, most tees and that won't be pre-shrunk. I'm 6 foot, Jay Woods. But I reckon the medium in Equity is probably a good place for you. I would say. I would recommend. But yeah, the size guide, you know, stick to that, I'd say. Just seeing news about Perez Autosport quotes him saying, I will aim to do Le Mans. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, he should definitely. Why not? Why not? I hope he can do something that, you know, gives him it's not just some really sad end to his career. Right, we have an order going to Jersey. There you go. Jersey. It's in the UK, but you need a customs declaration for it. Who knew? Cool. Did me and Aldas have a falling out? M-dubs. No, me and Aldas did not have a falling out. No. Honestly, the reason we've not done the to stop Live Fast. Oh yeah, that was because Live Fast was operated by Veloce, and basically Veloce just cut it. Just one day they were like, yeah, we don't want to do it anymore. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's literally what happened. fine. Oh, we've got a good channel going along, getting good organic viewership, sometimes in the 6 figures as well for a new channel. Doing interesting, you know. No, don't want to do it anymore. Okay, cool. Any direct contact from the owners? Nope, nothing. Just, we're not doing it anymore. Didn't even tell us directly. Because that was me and Hayden and Aldas and Matt all working on that together. And yeah, didn't even have the decency, the owners, to say anything to us directly. Just, yeah. It's just funny. It's funny. And you see how they're doing now. And I'm like, well, yeah. There you go. There you go. The less said, the better. Get myself in trouble. Right. Cap. Idea for next season, maybe implement a top 5 predictions after quali like you did on the last lap. Yeah, the last lap was that was great fun. I really enjoyed that. It just didn't work for me anymore. Like going into London every Sunday, the races, like I just didn't want to do it anymore. To be honest, it just wasn't for me. If I still lived in London and it was a lot more local, I probably would have carried it on, but now I'm out in Essex. It was just, I just had to make a decision, really, that was right for me. Yeah, we literally started as Max started dominating, and then we stopped as he stopped dominating. Okay, right, this one's done. Close that up. Oh, sure that's there. Nah, Zoom's never as good, lads. Like, once you start doing these shows in person, it's like, wow, it's actually like so much better. Like the quality of the chat is so much better. So that one I used to do my cool down podcast. Like that was fun, but like now I've done like in person podcasting, like with guests. Like that's just the way I was want to do it. Going forward, because I just think the quality is just so much better. The quality of chat is just, it's clear. Right. Okay, how many more we got? We've still got a few more. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we've got 4 more to do. Once I've done these 4, the stream will be wrapped. So we'll probably be like 3 hours in total, which is alright. Which is alright. Just rewatched your 24 predictions and that was crazy wrong, yes. Yeah. Never putting money on them. Never putting money on them at all. Right, this one's going to Denmark. That's cool. Denmark. Love it. Cool, right, we got a medium and a cap. Where's my water? I'm getting a bit thirsty. You got Alonso P9 correct. Ah, there we go. Small wins. Small wins, we take those. You bet in the house on your 25 predictions, mate. Where do you live, Stefan? That's going to be the determining factor as to whether that's a smart decision or not. Right. So yeah, cap as well. Ew, 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 Are there new Tommo graphics coming in 25? Yes. Yeah, I always like to refresh the graphics every year. Yeah. Keep the fundamentals the same, but yeah, just just change things up a little bit, I need to get a few more things, just a bit more templated, just so that it makes the editing process a bit quicker and easier for me. Again, because I kind of choose to do it all myself, it's important that I kind of maximise the efficiency of my operations. I live in the UK, Wales. How long is delivery normally after ordering? Well, Raphael, so the UK delivery is 48-hour tracked. So it will be 48 hours from when I send it. Basically, if you order it today, or if you've already ordered it, great. If you order today, any orders placed today will go out tomorrow. But tomorrow I need to get my head down with the edit for the driver ratings video. But yeah, I'm gonna get these out, and then any EU orders, which you don't have to worry being in Wales, that's fine. But I'll get any EU orders out tomorrow, and then I'm gonna have to. I'm pretty sure there's an option on my website where I can just not allow. There will be no delivery option if you're in the EU, or if I can't do it, I'm just gonna have to like put it really clearly on the website, and if anyone from the EU orders, I'm just gonna have to refund it straight away, which is annoying, but. Hello, JB. Good to see you, mate. I feel like everyone's predictions were ruined when Haas weren't terrible. Yeah, true. Who knew Komatsu would be the GOAT? You know? Who knew? Who knew? Will the cap fit my dome, Rich? It should definitely fit you, because I've got a massive head, right? I've got a massive head, and it's still not even on the full... Like, there's still a little bit more room left on the thing. And it fits Han's head as well. And she's got a tiny little head. So... I'm very confident it will fit your head, Rich. I'm very confident. Because if it fits mine, it should fit yours. Like, there's numerous caps that I've received that even when the back's fully open, it still won't go on my head. Because it's that big. Ridiculous. Oh, dear. Right, okay. Next one is going to USA. To Utah, by the looks of it. It's cool. It's actually quite gets me a little bit. Being like, my God, there's like so many people from like so many different parts of the world who actually like watch my stuff. It's actually very humbling. Well, I hope I'm going to have a busy night with the merch. That's the plan. As long as I can make my money back, then I'll be a happy boy. To be honest. Ugh. And I need to sell about half to 2/3 of the stock to break even. Still don't understand Haas's decision to drop K-Mag for Ocon. Ocon is good. Like he's very good, and hopefully he will have learned from his transgressions and how he's kind of made himself not the most enticing teammate. Because he's a very, very talented racing driver. That in isolation cannot be questioned. But yeah, there's obviously other caveats, you know. Surely. Won't go in. XLT and a cap in this bag is a quite a tight fit. we move. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely. Feels like. Yeah, it's just because of the. Any holiday delivery days? Not that I'm aware of, Joe's. Not that I'm aware of. What is with EU shipping? Yeah, it's some like GSPR stuff or whatever. It's just some new like regulation, which makes it basically if you're a small business, you need a representative in the EU in order to sell goods to the EU, and you know, I just want to sell t-shirts and just do it myself and. Yeah, there's this. It's not like for what I'm trying to do. It's just not worth it, and also like less than 20% of my orders do come from the EU. So, fortunately for me, it's mostly UK and rest of the world. But yeah, it just means that if you are in the EU, you've got to order by the end of today. Right, that one's done. Means we've got 2 more. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. GPSR, yeah. GSPR, GPSR. Shipped to Brazil, yes. Rest only the EU. And right now, as of right now, until the end of today, anyone, anywhere in the world can order. I'm sure maybe, you know, certain North Korea, you might struggle, but right now anyone, and then only after today, only in the EU. So you can still order in Brazil or Australia or America or wherever. It's just the EU that unfortunately is going to have to come to an end. Hopefully not forever, but who knows. But a lot of businesses, like, it's funny actually. So a lot of companies just weren't aware of it until like really late, and then like, oh my god, that's like a massive part of our business. Oh my god, my foot's cramping. Ow. That's kind of stopping overnight, which is crazy. Shipped to India, yes, yeah. India, Brazil, anywhere right now. I mean, North Korea is not in my top 50 of viewership nations, but I'm sure I've had at least one view from North Korea. Surely. Right, XL t-shirt. This one. Bosch. XL. Cap. But it seems like now people will have to sell on Amazon to use their services to sell. Yeah, maybe. Which is, yeah, that is. I hadn't thought of that actually. It's kind of rubbish. Brazil is number 10. Is my 10th highest. Zhao. 10th highest. So it's pretty good. Brazil is number 10. Sweden's quite high up as well. Yeah, Australia's number 3. Australia's right up there. It's US, UK, then Australia. On my channel analytics last 90 days, US 21.5%, UK 19%, Australia 7%, Canada 5%, Netherlands 4.5%, India 4%, Germany 3.5%. And then it drops down. South Africa 1.8, Sweden 1.6, Brazil 1.6. There you go. There you go, see? Yeah, and Bortoleto, exactly. I don't speak Portuguese, but Bortoleto is about, so... How has the Bortoleto news gone down in Brazil To anyone who's Brazilian watching, like, how has that been? How has that been received? Like, is it big news? I imagine it is, but I'd just be interested to. Yeah, Dino did a good job, didn't he? Dino did a very, 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 very good job. Especially considering, again, like, he's just a rookie jumping in at the end of the year. Did a fantastic job in F2 so far. So I reckon Dino's going to be a good shout for a title contender next year, definitely. And of course, he's part of the Ferrari Driver Academy as well. So he was mighty, indeed. Very mighty. Right, hang on. Royal Mail. Hello, Samis from Greece. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. And the stream. I ship to Greece as well. Oh, they started putting pictures out of the test with Carlos in. Bono walking out the paddock in Lewis's Garms. Nice. Oh yeah, that's Santander. Williams Racing is pleased to announce a new multi-year partnership with Santander that will begin in 2025. It's cool. Are there any pictures of Sainz in Williams? Carlos Sainz. Oh, he's already on track in the Williams. Carlos Sainz on track for Williams ahead of F1 testing. 3 hours ago. Yeah, so he's already been out in the car. Old Vamos. Cool. Yeah. God, he's got a proper white suit on as well. Thank you for the super chat, Tej. There is a promo code for patrons only, though. Only for Patreon subscribers. Is this recorded? Well, it will stay on YouTube after. Oh, my pink light's gone off. Run out of battery. No, this won't be going on Spotify. This one. This is just because it would take about 14 days to upload something 3 hours long to Spotify. Because the Spotify backend takes ages to upload on. So, no, this is just going to be YouTube. Oh, go there. Yeah, Carlos in white overalls is a thing. It's out there, driving the Williams for the first time. Kind of cool. Cool to see. Right, anyway, I've got one more delivery to pack. And this is to the USA. And it's a extra small tea with a cap. Small, extra small. Lovely jubbly. That's there. That's cool. Yep. Okay. Good. Do I like drifting? Well, I do like drifting. I'm a fan. I'd love to go and see Formula Drift out in the US. Formula Drift looks sick. I'd be bang up for that. It's my favourite food. What is my favourite food? I don't know. I'm a big foodie, so there's a lot. Can I drift my A1? I don't have the A1 anymore, Jamie. Actually, and I'm sure you could. I mean, front-wheel drive. You know, it's always going to be difficult to get the rear end out. I wouldn't recommend it. You know, wouldn't recommend it. Come on. Get in the pack. Well, do you think the extra small T would be the easiest one to pack? But it's proving... No, I used to have an A1. Same one. I used to have an A1. I don't anymore. Right, cool. Off. Bin. Push. Cool. And then label on. God, sorry, a lot of you have asked questions in a very short period of time. Oh yeah, you'll be able to rewatch. The whole thing will just live on my YouTube channel once I've finished. If you want to listen to me waffling and packing orders for 3 hours, then go at it, you know? Whatever floats your boat. Right, cool, excellent. So, every single order that was placed, FYI, every single order that was placed prior to, what time yesterday? What's this? Confused. Why's that on there? Dashboard. This raw mail thing's rubbish, man. Date, batch. I don't need batch, do I? Okay, whatever. Basically, most of the orders are packed now, which is good. So I'm going to take them down to the post here. S4 would be your dream car. Frecker. I haven't really watched Frecker this year. No, I haven't, to be honest. Hello, Hanny. Welcome. Oh, go on Twitter. I think Kim Illman's posted some pictures of Carlos in his white suit. Will I do an F2 vid? I'll probably do an F2 vid before next season starts. Yeah, not in any rush to, but I will do one before the season starts. Going over, kind of like I did earlier this year, talking about who's looking. Bogdanovic will definitely be up there in terms of potential championship protagonists. I think so. Jap Fest in Ireland. I've heard about that one. Yeah, I've heard about that one, Seamus. Oh, that would be sick. That would be sick. What's the Irish? They've got like an Instagram page, and they have just the maddest like Japanese like JDM imports. They've got like Skyline, and they're just like they do like comedy skits, and they're so funny. There's like these mad Irish lads doing it. It's so good. Be interesting to see how his feedback, Carlos's feedback, affects the team. Absolutely chuffed as a Williams fan. Yeah, man, got to be like, it's huge, huge. I was actually when was it? On Friday, I was at Williams because they invited me to their golf sprint cup. It's like on their sim rig. It's like a event, like a competition thing, and I was chatting to a bunch of the team there, obviously, who work for like Williams Esports and by extension Williams, and yeah, they were all very very Very, very optimistic about Carlos joining. Arvid is in Campos. Is that confirmed now? Then Arvid Lindblad. That's big. That's big. Good seat as well, Campos seat. That's obviously Hadjar's seat for this year. Tej, you just placed an order. Thank you very much, Tej. Appreciate that. Let me check. I can see. I should be able to see on the back end. Yep, I can see your order. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tej. Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, your order will go out tomorrow. Yeah, any orders placed between now and the end of the day will go out tomorrow. I'll make sure of it. Do you want to attend any MotoGP? I wouldn't be against it at all. I wouldn't. Bike racing is just never really, you know, it's never really just not really been my thing, you know. Unfortunately, is what it is. Is what it is. I just like what I like, and I don't like what I don't like. You know. Right. I think I'm going to wrap this because I want to go and drop these parcels off at the post office. They're going to hate me because I'm going to rock up with about 50, maybe 40 parcels. That's going to be fun. I'm probably going to be split, but like, you take them, give me the receipt tomorrow because I'm not that far from the post office. But yeah, thank you all for keeping me company for the last few hours. Hope you've enjoyed this slightly different style of stream. Maybe I'll do another one when I'm packing more orders. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, cheers everyone. And again, TOMMO'SRacingGoods.com if you do want a t-shirt or a cap here. And you're in the European Union, specifically if you're in the European Union, you have to order by the end of today. You have to. Otherwise, that's it. You can't anymore because of new regulation that's coming in soon. So it has to be today, now or never. Jamie, go to bed. Go to bed. Cheers, everyone. Thank you all. Appreciate you all. And yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, actually, hang on. Did I miss any super chats? Don't think I did. No, we're all good. Right. Just making sure. Bye, everyone.